Dip, dip,
Dude.
All rise, the Honorable Judge Elizabeth and the guy with the camera that zooms around.
Oh, I love this. This is the floating cam.
Yes, and some stoner kid. I think. Who knows? There's a lot of drugs in court.
I love this courtroom, but I hate how low the microphone is from the podium. It's just ridiculously low.
Honestly, I don't even think it's on. I don't even know if it's actually wired in.
What's he doing? Like,
he was just doing that with a sheet of paper too, covering up his new toupee. I guess I don't know.
Oh, that toupee is terrible.
Hey,
why wouldn't we have it the same color as that little scoff of hair?
Does that little fan remind you of a old Smeed's Ferry? Oh, thank God! Thank you for turning the fan on.
Thanks for turning that fan on. Ooh, much better now.
Yes. Oh, I'm all cooled down. Well, we're not here for that. We've got a TPO, I heard. Is this true?
Yeah, we do. And with one of our favorite judges, Judge Dude. Now, let me go ahead and let you guys know. If you're new here, typically Judge Dude, super chill guy.
Yeah.
Super smooth. No problems. Never gets upset.
Well, not never. We've seen him.
Well, he's got upset before. But typically he doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't.
Never.
You know, if you watch 100 of his cases, you might see him get upset once.
Yes. It takes a lot to irritate him. It takes him a lot to. I don't think we've ever had him raise his voice literally, though. I don't think.
He does some face rubbing. He's a face rubber, kind of like Judge Cedric. But today he is hearing a case with a lady who just will not listen.
Oh, boy.
So just letting everybody know ahead of time. This lady's going to be loud. She's going to go off on her own. And we're just going to have to live with it. Rundown. I guess she's trying to get her home back. We'll get all the details, but something about trying to get her home back. They're trying to kick her out of her own house. And she is just, pissed off. So, here we go.
Whether you or ask you or that you just want to tell us. But right now, it goes in order. And so we start with her. Okay, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, Miss James?
Yes, it was about a month.
Okay, from when, like what month?
It was a long time ago. I can't really recall. It's been so long.
Okay. Make your best guess for me. Estimate a year that you think this took place.
Around the year. I believe it was around 2017, I believe it was around 2017.
Okay. And it was about a month and it was at a different location. And so what led to you filing this protective order?
What led me to filing the protective order is basically the residence or the location that I'm at now. She came over there threatening me and harassing me and trying to get me put out. Hence, that's why she got the TPO put out on me.
You can't make women put out.
So she can have me removed from the residence.
That's what I was going to ask. Put out, removed from the residence.
Okay, why would her TPO remove you from the residence?
Because that's where we were staying at the time.
But what does that have to do with her?
That she came harassing me and threatening me, and it all started around the time after I had gotten my settlement. That's when she started coming over there saying that she wanted to get her house back and etc. That's when she put the TP.
Hey, like the kid says, give it a thumbs up right now.
Well, I didn't know if it's thumbs up or we're playing an imaginary video game. One of the two.
He's letting everybody know, like the video. Already talking about a settlement, some monies. She's staying in her place and
getting put out.
Don't even know about when she was trying to get put out. But thumbs up, like the kid said.
Peel out of me.
So what is your connection? What is each of your connections individually to that location that she would be able to put you out? And the reason I'm asking that question is because if two people are not living together, there's no reason to deal with an eviction.
Okay, may I have my friend speak with you so that way he can explain it better?
No, this is your turn to testify.
That's
Okay,
So
well,
that can be something else, but if that person is with you and
I've never seen that before.
Since I can explain it very well, can I have my interpreter come in and maybe make you understand what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. She explained it fine. We understand what's going on. Judge just told you. You can't. The judge just told you. Basically, no.
Yeah. No, you can't do that.
Is it just not going in her way yet? Is that the thing? Because there's a little bit of pushback from the judge there.
She's already got frustrated very quickly, and so is he. But the best is yet to come.
they intend to testify, they need to be somewhere else. They should not be listening to your testimony either.
That's it. No.
okay.
Took me a second.
Well, pretty much all in all, she is somewhat like a stepmother to me because she's my friend's mom.
We had to sell it, Lynch. I'm sorry.
And due to that, we was staying there. I want to say in total, we've been there for about a year.
It'll be back.
And the first time we were there, it was to help them with the situation that she had went through, because it was a situation to where I believe her ex-boyfriend had burnt her or something like that. So
burnt her.
And I mean, we've heard about people being burned by pots of black-eyed peas, Creed, but we've
That's
never
true,
heard about
yes,
someone
yes.
who got set on fire, which if that happened, horrible, terrible.
Angela, always good to see you making great choices today. I love it.
I mean, look at that. Next week, we'll be doing a members only for this channel.
Oh, are we there? I figured as much. I figured. Nice.
So we'll be doing members only for this channel come next week. So be
pick
ready for
a
that.
date and time.
Yes, to be announced TBA, I think they say,
I think
or
so.
FUN, who knows?
the process of her being in the hospital or whatever the case may be, me and her son went to the location and we started helping them clean the house up, because they said once she got out the hospital that she wouldn't want to be there anymore. So me and her son stayed there, and we spoke with the landlord, and the landlord said that we could stay there until everything gets situated. And a couple of months after that, that's when we gave the landlord his house key back, and we moved back out. And then another situation occurred to where we had to go back to the residence, and we've been there ever since.
And she has not?
No, sir. She has not been at the location within, I want to say, about a year. Yeah, because everything started around May of last year, and we've been there ever since.
So you said she showed up at the house threatening and harassing you. When did she show up at the house?
All right, so this lady and her guy friend, boyfriend, whatever, the guy friend, he is the son of Tron lady here. I only see one breast.
Yes, one supple, beautiful.
She got burned by her, set on fire by her boyfriend.
Yes, ever
So
since.
They moved in to take care of her, but she never came back, and they just stayed there for an entire year. Is that what we're to understand?
That'd be great if that really is how that all plays out.
If that is, I mean, what a scam.
But you know, it's not a scam.
What's that?
Who's handsome? 10 memberships. Thank you. You're on the TPO Tuesday trolley. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you. God bless.
It was around the first time when I did my first TPO for her. It was around February, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say around February-ish. And basically she came threatening me, saying that she would, if I opened the door, that she would beat my ass, she'd drag me out the house. She even picked up a hammer at one point and threatened me and my friend, saying that she would stab us in the heart with it.
Okay. Well, that's...
And that happened when, roughly?
Kid's like, no.
I want to say about February, March-ish. Yes, sir.
Don't listen to this, B.
Okay. And then
kid. That was funny.
The kid's great. I'm like,
Okay. And have you seen her since then?
No, the last time I seen her is when she had them serve me my TPO. That was the last time I seen her.
Okay. And you saw her then?
Yes.
And that was probably what, March?
Yes, I want to say towards the middle of March, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So your incident that happened at your house was maybe February. You were served in March. And now we're here in May. All right. I think those are all the questions I have at the moment for you. Give me just a moment here. Miss Greer, I'm sending you a prompt to unmute. You'll have a chance to testify if you so desire, but this is the time to ask questions of this witness.
All right, he just explained it to her. You'll have time to testify if you like later, but this is the time for you to ask questions of this young lady.
I'm going to say she messes it up.
Hold on tight.
Are there questions you think I should ask Miss James that
Yes,
separate
I
and
do.
apart from your testimony that you think need to be asked?
Yes, I do.
What are your questions?
If I was threatening, if they had to film me, why won't they move out my house? They don't live there.
That's not an appropriate question, Miss Greer.
I have the lease to their house.
All right, Miss Greer, I'm going to stop you right here. We're not off to a good start.
No, that's not a good start.
We deal in facts, not arguments. And so the way that this process works, you've heard the facts that she is testified to, that she says that's how things happened. You can ask questions about that or other questions that you think are important, but we are not ready for the portion of the proceeding where you would make statements.
Their breathing is really bad. It's kind of frightening in a way, but I don't know if that has to do with her being set on fire or from her smoking too many cigarettes. I don't know.
I'm glad to hear that you finally. I thought wasn't it from Domino's though originally though,
yeah,
right?
originally
So then you
Domino's.
then what'd you do? Just order Little Caesars? At least they came through.
Oh, thank you, Georgia.
I didn't forget. I didn't know it. Thank you, Georgia Page 5 memberships. Again, we'll have a by the end of this week. We'll have a idea of when we'll be doing.
And just FYI, if anyone gives memberships, we can't see it with StreamYard. So you telling us is the best way for us to find out. Wheeze and Pete.
So right now she's saying that you made verbal threats and that you had a hammer. And so do you have questions about that incident or any other incidents that you wish to ask this witness about? And you can unmute and then you can ask.
Well, I want to ask her if she feels threatened by me in any way. Why won't she leave my house?
That's not an appropriate question because it's.
Why is it not?
If you so scared of me, why the hell ain't you got in the house yet?
Didn't you hear me at the end, like with my question mark? You know, you raise you like, when you're asking a question.
I mean, you heard I said I was going to stab you in the heart with a hammer. Why you get out? That's a good question, but not for right now, I guess.
I never gave her permission. She has not talked to my landlord. I don't understand how that's not appropriate.
That's
if
a disposition.
Got me scared.
Miss Greer, this is not going the way that it needs to go.
I don't know
when was the last time you ran.
I'm trying to go slow and explain the steps to this process. You're complaining about a landlord-tenant matter. You're not the landlord. It sounds like you rented from someone else, and then it sounds like you have not been there for at least I'll say a medium period of time, to be imprecise about it. I don't know how long, but what we're here for today is to answer basically one question. Have there been acts of violence committed that justify the issuance of a protective order? And there are questions within that question that I have to decide based on the facts and the law. Right now, that's all I'm here for. I'm not going to handle property disputes. I'm not going to figure out who's a landlord, who's a
You're right,
tenant,
though.
who's a lessee, who's
Ain't
a
listening to
sublessee, any of that stuff. It's not going to happen because that's not what this hearing is for. This hearing is to determine whether or not there have been acts of violence committed such that the protective order should be extended. And so with that groundwork laid, do you have questions that you think the court needs to ask?
Third try.
Well,
right?
you
Claims
asking me
about-
all this stuff, but you not asking me in reference to the case. I feel like if you want me to explain to you what she just said, I can. But again, it's not fair. I'm put out my house with my daughter. We ain't got nowhere to go, paying $1,900 a month. And as you see, it's a history where I had a
1900?
TPO on them. And she talking about
We're going to place you back on mute.
Well, third time is not a charm. Deborah, thank you. Full bones.
I mean, this is the time to ask her questions about what she said. She's just going off, and
she ain't listening. She's good. She's still going, even on mute. She doesn't even know it. She doesn't understand. He's being very patient with her. That's the third time, correct? That's a third try.
yeah, third try on this. Now we're just giving them chance after chance after chance. But her fingernails, the only thing I noticed about her fingernails is that the middle one is busted off.
Oh, and very quickly, no, kitchen court cases. The best part about StreamYard, seriously, is everybody who I ever see that uses Streamlabs is constantly having updates and all that. We would never be on.
Oh,
if
no.
we had to use that. My God, either that or Grotto would be a millionaire right now.
Yeah, because
help us. Nightmare.
Problems with people's audio and this, that, and the other. It's just, I'm sure it's got a lot of cool features.
Oh,
It's
it
got-
does. No doubt. For people that are technologically sound.
Well, most people that use it are not technologically sound, and
least
well,
it
they
seems
have all kinds of issues. Their heads this big on the
Oh,
screen.
Nuts.
So
Oh, that's
it's
true. Their
terrible.
heads are very, very large. Yes.
Very large heads. Trust me, we're saving you guys by not having these
Could you
up in your screens. So you should thank us daily. Woo, here we go.
This is not how this is going to go. I have explained the process, including the part of the process where you have the opportunity to make statements later. Right now, I need you to take a deep breath, and I need you to try to find enough calm and restraint to listen to instructions when they're given so that you can try to adhere to the procedures of court. I understand that these are powerful emotional situations that you find yourself in. I understand that every party who appears before me has strong feelings. But what can't happen, cannot happen under any circumstances, is that those feelings come bursting out in a way that makes it impossible for us to conduct a hearing. This is a mission. It is a fact-finding expedition where I have to figure out the truth of what happened.
Mission from
And
God.
if all you want to do
She's just
is jump in and just start talking 100 miles an hour about a lease and the property, I'm never going to get those answers. I've got about 10 cases that were served today, and I intend to help everybody that's on this calendar and give them a full and complete hearing. But what that means, what that requires of all 20 of those parties is that they understand what we're here for and what we're not here for, what this court has to make rulings on and what it doesn't. The issue between you and your landlord and Miss James is not really before this court. What is before this court is the question of whether or not there have been acts of violence or threats of violence that justify extending a protective order. She has given her testimony as to what happened in regards to those incidents of violence.
By the way, where's she paying $1,900 a month? What does she do for work?
also she's moving quite a lot. I don't know if she's got it on her cell phone or if it's on a laptop. She's really doing a lot of jiggling.
Judge Dude, was that a sly remark that he threw at her about the take a deep breath?
Like a really deep one. Like
Yeah.
super deep.
So we can move on to the next one.
Man, she is. Whew. But
Well,
maybe
he'll-
she's calmed down now, though.
He'll unmute her. She'll ask a question.
I mean, she's just finished a whole beautiful soliloquy that we missed.
Did you have any other witnesses, Miss James, to those to acts such as those that you wish to call as a witness today?
Said she pays $1,900 a month.
Yes.
And who is that?
His name is Trentavious Greer.
All right. Where is Mr. Greer?
One moment.
So we've moved on from her. We're not giving her another chance.
Yeah,
Is
we
she crying. She's got. Oh, she's crying.
crying. Don't cry.
Oh, well, you should ask questions.
Here's her
yes,
son.
hello.
Little Red Riding Hood. Fantastic.
All right. Mr. Greer, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear the state?
Is that a fashion statement? Or
I don't know if he's in a cult or something or what exactly is going on with this fashion. She is crying, which is terrible. I hate
That is-
women's cry. Well, she said she's paying $1,900 a month.
listen, I
I'm
don't know if
just
she's
not mentioning-
lying yet. You know,
I don't know her that well. We just noticed she wants them. She wants them gone.
And I said, get away from here.
go on, get.
Ooh, baby.
That's a good one.
Anybody we need to recognize before we leave? Back to the video. I thought I saw somebody said something. Another 10.
Who's handsome? Thank you.
He claims he's not a recent lottery winner, but I started to doubt his
No
his
kidding.
lies. Make sure you have notifications, gifts turned on. All these people are giving out all these memberships, but if you don't have it turned on, you're not going to get one. You gotta have it turned on.
This is that what are we gonna make him take that down? I hope, because
Oh, are you kidding? This is Judge Dude. Are you crazy? You gonna make them take nothing down except this video later. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Heading on to the Handmaid's Tale. Yes, that's him.
Statements you make to the court will be the truth under penalty of perjury.
Yes, sir.
All right. What is your connection to Miss Greer?
Unfortunately, it's my mother.
Oh, nail in the coffin.
All right. Were you witness to the incident that happened earlier in the year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And tell me what happened at that incident.
Basically, I got a call that she
must have
she
just woke
had
up.
came to the property and she was going basically hysterical. And when I approached, I saw her standing outside of a car. I can't recall who she was with at the moment, but I saw her standing outside of the car. We actually had video footage of her doing it, but we wasn't able to present it at court at that time. And the other incident with the hammer is one of the incidents to where the officers.
Is she on the phone?
She is. She's bitching away. She ain't
Okay.
listening. To
Was
nothing.
anybody arrested or
Deborah Fibones. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This is a huge no-no. You're not supposed to be on the phone.
She ain't listening to nothing that's happening at all. She's been on the phone. We do see her keyboard at least.
It has been so long since Manning has done a TPO online. No one knows how to do them now. They're just letting everybody run wild. Week 3, by the way, of no Manning
Uh-oh.
TPOs.
I hope that's not the end.
It's not the end, but she is resharing old videos, so keep an eye out for that. Hopefully she's ordering a pizza from Domino's.
charged as part of that incident?
No, because honestly, I don't like seeing people get arrested, so I told them not to.
All right. And did you live at that property with Miss Greer?
No, sir. Actually, what happened was, to make a long story short, she had an incident with her ex-boyfriend. He set her on fire. And she called me over there to help assess the situation. And from that moment on, we was there helping them out with the situation, but she hasn't been there ever since that incident.
Is he a doctor? Why do you why she gets set on fire and she calls him over to assess the situation?
Listen, he'd be the first one that I would call if I was set on fire in a heartbeat. He comes over in that big red, whatever that is. Gov, release your not a fan for 50 likes, 141 here. That's 168 total and 41 likes.
Baby, you gotta get over here quick. There's been a fire. You got to get over here quick.
Was it like 3 o'clock in the morning? Because this dude died in the middle of the afternoon. Certainly ain't awake at all. He just woke up.
He's very tired. Hopefully he gets a rest soon.
Which was months ago. And she recently reoccurred after Nala got her settlement from her job, which was about $50,000.
So you and Miss James stayed with her long enough to just be a temporary caretaker and for her
settlement from her job, which was about $50,000.
50,000. His girlfriend got a settlement from her job for $50,000. 50.
And she's still on the phone, going away, not listening to anything. By the way,
wonder what happened to her at work. Inappropriateness. I know she didn't work with We Got LLC because they broke. They in the negative every year. Every year.
So you and Miss James stayed with her long enough to just be a temporary caretaker and for her to go on to another location.
Anybody got JG Wetner's
Actually,
phone number?
It was basically there just to house sit more so because she was in a hospital.
Okay, so she wasn't living there with y'all.
No, she was in a hospital.
Okay. All right. And so in the incident where she showed up a month or two ago, or a couple months ago, I guess, what happened then?
Long story short, she found out that my girlfriend ended up getting a settlement. She just knew we had some money. She didn't know exactly how we had it. So
look, she's FaceTiming with someone.
Yeah. And she's holding it up to the camera. I don't think any of that is a lot. Wow. Oh, Bunchy got it. All right. Thank you.
1877 cash now. 1877 cash now.
This is proof why we all get along and why we're here all hanging out in the middle of the afternoon watching court together.
Never sell off your annuity to those assholes. Hold on to your annuity. Most states won't even allow you to sell off your annuity.
So do you think that she's talking to somebody that she probably shouldn't be or showing the case
I guarantee you she shouldn't be on the phone and video chatting with somebody during court. Look, I'm no lawyer. This shirt doesn't have any buttons on it. Don't unbutton. I'm pretty sure this is not the right thing to do.
I appreciate judges that don't go after everybody doing everything wrong all the time, but he's just a little bit too lenient to the point where it's almost like people take advantage of his kindness, if that makes sense.
Oh, there you go.
That's how I feel about that situation. Anyways,
I feel like he has that in his personal life too.
Reno.
I guess she just felt like she could use the law to basically just rob us blind because that's pretty much her intentions. She just wanted to basically just rob us blind.
Oh,
she came over there. She had the TPO put out on us, and it went on for weeks. It went on for like a little while before the TPO actually got put out on us. But because I kept coming over there and kept asking her to leave and stuff, she felt like getting a TPO put out on us would basically force us to stay away, which she actually succeeded in her plan, unfortunately. And she did come.
Eddie M, thank you. I love when people pay their late fees without us having to ask or make a big thing about it, and embarrass you. And
it's really kind and loving, and
it
shows that you really care.
I mean, regardless of what people say, we feel awkward and weird about calling people out when they're late. So
yeah,
I'd rather not.
Just slide in silently. Some of them.
Yeah. Georgia Page, 10 bones. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
So mom was in the hospital for months, from what I'm hearing. Then once she got out of the hospital, she wanted them out of the house.
Yeah.
And now they've noticed, she's found out that they have monies. Lots of
Hector,
money.
I kind of, sort of, I guess, maybe with what he's dealing with, but I mean, he doesn't seem to yet. Look at the hood's up, hats are on. Camera of her is just god awful, just at the boob and her neck, and now she's been on the phone through all of his testimony, she
And
has
I
been
don't
on
wanna
the phone.
bring this up, Creed, but I'm pretty sure he was in the car while the other lady was giving her testimony. So
Absolutely.
he
Oh,
didn't
without a doubt.
get
Yeah,
in.
the kid was like in his lap, kind of like over on the mom.
Yeah.
No doubt. I mean, there's so much going on. I don't think he picks any battles. I see what you're saying, but it is just a craziness. It's a free for all in this court.
Getting loose now. Thank you, by the way, to all the kind donos.
I'm over there for a time period between like one day. I say she took her time and took like 1 day, 1 to 3 days or so to get a perception that she was moving her things. But basically, like I said, she just robbed us blind. She took everything out of the house completely. She threw all of our things and the children things and the child things in the trash.
Wow.
Basically the stuff that she felt like she didn't want, apparently.
Ruthless.
And left. She hasn't been there since. So she basically just used them to rob us blind and leave. She currently stays somewhere else, which is the same place she has been staying for months. And the only thing I really want out of the situation is for her to stop trying to get me arrested. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't even like having to be in this situation in this moment now.
A little frustrated about it.
All right, Miss Greer, we're going to try this one more time. I'll send you a prompt to unmute. Do you have questions
Yes,
for
I
this
have
witness?
a witness as well. My daughter is on the phone. On a
You can
video
hang that
call.
up right now, Miss Greer. This is
Hey, they saying I can't let you do it. Oh, you near me. Can you pull up on me right quick and come testify?
What?
Miss Greer. This
Okay,
is
well, I gotta get off
ridiculous,
the phone. Well, okay, Your Honor.
Shut
They
that
are
down.
not
Right.
telling you the truth. What
ma'am.
happened was
Oh
I
my,
was set
Miss
up by
Greer.
you.
Oh,
This is a perfect example of where we deal with.
Miss Greer, I am
muted him
trying
too.
real hard. This is so frustrating. I'm trying to be very specific with my questions to you and my directions to you. And I don't think there's been a single time that they've been followed. You took a witness. You saw me tell Miss James that if she
Brandon,
was going to
thank you.
have her witness testify, she needed to send him somewhere else while she was testifying. And then what you did was call someone up on the phone and put them on speaker so that they could see and hear what was going on. Not appropriate. I ask if you have questions for this witness. And again, I don't even know how many times we're on. It's probably at least 5. You just start going as fast as you can with your side of the story.
Back on
And
the
at
phone.
no point have we asked questions about the facts of what's been testified to. I understand that the parties on these cases don't agree. That's why we're having a hearing. But what we need is to go through the fact-finding process together. And that's done by having a party testify
Wait a second.
and then a party answer questions.
JD, who you talking about being mean? The judge to her?
Her, to be fair, doesn't treat other people like he does her. Oh, well.
Are you talking about something else? Or are you
You
talking
don't
about the judge?
Oh,
wait.
most people don't act like her either in court. So if that's what you're talking about, she's like,
If you are talking about the judge to her, he gave her 3 full chances and an explanation each time. And she's yet to bring anything, if that's what you're talking about, yet to bring anything to this at
and
all.
she knows we could just sit here and say, oh, well, she doesn't understand the process. She does, because we were talking about a while ago that she had taken out a TPO before. So she's familiar with the process. She knows what's going on. She just wants to do what she wants to do at the moment.
And Annie M, I just saw that. The way that she was holding the phone down, I think that she's still literally on the phone. I'm pretty sure.
And we've been on a computer the whole time? Or what? What are we on? Or do we have something sitting on a computer? I'm so confused with what device she's using to
she's
do
answered yet to none of it. She's done none of it. I mean, again, she just came out swinging. And if that's what JG was talking about, might be talking with one of you.
Could be talking to anybody and everybody. But that's what we're talking about. Her son.
And his little eruption there from Judge Dude, that's quite a bit there.
Oh, yeah. The
most we've ever seen.
Angry face, rubbing his face all over the place.
and a party testify and a party answer questions. And you're going to have a chance to testify and you're going to have a chance to ask questions too. And I know it's hard, but this process is designed to allow you to go last because that's considered a benefit because they might not present enough information against you to get an order in the first place. So this is a chance for us to ask questions of this witness. And before I turn it back to you, sir, I've sent you a prompt to unmute again.
Yes, sir.
So when she showed up at the house, it sounds like she was saying some things to you and Miss James. What was she saying and doing exactly?
She was just basically saying that she wanted her to come out of the house so she can WHA. I don't want to say it.
Why?
Like
You,
whip
you
her.
swore to tell the truth, so I just need you to say it.
Okay, whip her ass.
All right, fair enough. And part of that, I mean, I can smile when I say that. I understand people who want to show a certain amount of decorum or be restrained about that.
I love that he just cursed like he's never cursed his entire life.
Leather Lads is 2 boats, check the PP.
I'll be on that. Thank you.
Yeah, almost like you ever see when there's like a joke or a kid says something funny and it's like you can swear one time this time.
He
Go
said,
ahead. And the kid's like, are you
HE double hockey sticks. You can say it.
with her on the phone like that, and I know a couple of you had asked, the hell do I know? I would think though that the judge could potentially bring up some sort of contempt, something or other on that. Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know exactly how that works.
I think he just wants to get out of this. He just wants to get this over with. That may be why he's letting her get away with a few extra things.
That could be.
But she is on fire.
There's always a risk that somebody says something coded or changed in a way that somebody misunderstands, and I don't ever want to take that chance. And so, but I do appreciate, the deference there to the setting. So, okay. So, Miss Greer, his statement is that you showed up and said that you wanted to whip Miss James's ass a few months ago. Do you have questions about that incident that you want to ask him about to see if he will testify to those while he's here?
Yes, I mean, I need to get more of a clarification. So I can't talk about the living process, period. So I
About
need to ask
the living process?
when do I give a statement to you? Because that's the only way I'm gonna get any word out look like. Because that's all
As
I
I
got.
just said,
all I have is the truth. I don't have questions about lies. I have the truth. That's it. I don't know how to lie about this
do
situation.
you notice how you just rattled off about 5 sentences? You asked a question, and before I could give you an answer, you rattled off about 5 more sentences pleading about the situation that's going on.
Because I feel like you're not being fair to me, Your Honor. Other than that, I'm upset because this stuff.
Miss Greer, you haven't heard a word I've said all day.
Not fair.
And that's not about being fair.
Not fair. 007 text.
Uh-oh.
5 bones. Not fair.
They're not being fair, Judge.
Not being fair.
Let's go ahead and call it what it is.
I mean, listen, I understand, Judge, that in court there's some sort of decorum, there's a way of doing things and such. But listen, I want to come in here and I just want to I just want to go. I don't care about the fact that you got to do things in order. That's not fair, Judge, Your Honor.
Did JG text her and say something about him not being fair?
JG's all up in your ear.
I'm just messing with you, JG. Tell him how much he's unfair. Quick.
But the part that I know, I need you to listen very carefully to me. And it's hard for me because all I can see is about the bottom 1.5 inches of your face. There should be a tiny version of your face on the screen somewhere that should show you how much is in. Now, what worries me about how this is going, for one thing, you're on mute and you're continuing to talk while I'm talking. And part of the problem here is that I'm trying to tell you things to explain this process and what's going on, and you're not understanding any of them because you can't slow down enough to listen.
She's so mad.
So literally seconds ago, I acknowledged that you have to go last. That is how this process is designed. And one of the reasons it's that way is because it is Miss James's burden of proof. You have no burden of proof whatsoever. She does. So she has to go first because she has to meet her burden if her case was going to prevail. You have to go last. When witnesses testify, the opportunity
Explaining how
is
court
to
works.
ask them questions before you testify so that they can clarify things that they've said or reveal additional facts to the court. So what they are saying, I understand you don't agree with. But the issue, as it relates to me being able to conduct this hearing, is that when I ask you simple questions, or when you ask a question of me and I try to respond, what happens is that I get talked over. You are wound up as tight as you can possibly be to such a point that even when I explained a few minutes ago that you were going last, you didn't hear a word of it. And I know that because of how you responded the next time you started talking. And so what I need, and this is why I try to be as patient as possible and go slowly through what the process is and what it looks like. I understand why people in your position as a respondent feel unheard and uncomfortable early in the proceeding because it's not your turn yet. I'm not supposed to hear you yet. And so I'm supposed to hear you last. And so when it's not your turn yet, you just have to wait. Now, if everybody agreed as to what happened, there probably would have been a consent order. But right now we don't have that. And so
He had beautiful hair.
By the way, Red Hood, I think, did very well today.
all right.
I did
So
too.
give me a moment. I have to pull the documents back up
Extremely calm.
and
Had some points. Didn't want to swear in front of his kid, which I thought, that's good.
It's very good.
He was a little sleepy. He was woke up from his nap. I get that.
All
A little
right.
sleepy in the beginning.
So I think this is all the questions I have for you, Mr. Greer. You can put Miss James back on. I want to make sure that you're her final witness.
Could you pause?
Yeah.
Shoot, no, but just what? There's something crazy happened. Can I back this up just a tiny little bit? I want to just see this. This is great. Look at this.
What in the world? He's having a time.
Sorry.
Wow. Oh, sorry. That was
That was
funny.
a funny
Court.
moment there. I just saw in live court.
Moment is in.
Miss James, you'll have a prompt to unmute if you don't already. All right. Is that your final witness?
Yes.
All right. So the petitioner has rested. Ms. Greer, this is going to work as follows. I will direct questions toward you. And if I have a further situation where I need to give you the floor
Hello
for you
again,
to make
Devin.
a statement, then I will do so. But I have some procedural questions that I need to address first. Tell me about the living situation between you and Miss James specifically as to when you did or did not live together.
Okay, originally years ago, they had to stay with me because they was sleeping in their car. They were with me about a month. They tried to take over my place there, so that didn't work out.
So they stayed with you about a month, some
Yeah.
number of years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Did Miss James?
I think it was the year my son went to the military, my baby son. I think it was like 2018.
Okay, so we'll say about 5 years ago, because that'll
Yeah.
give us some cushion
Yeah.
either direction. So they
Yeah.
stayed with you for about a month, wherever you were living at that time. Was that down off of Boulder Crest?
Yes.
Okay, so they stayed with you about a month. Did Miss James get mail there?
I'm sorry.
Was Miss James like getting mail there?
No.
Was she
She never-
getting to
She
the
never
best
got
of your?
mail at my house.
Okay. To the best of your knowledge, did she ever have that Boulder Crest area address on a driver's license or vehicle
No,
registrations,
no, sir.
anything like that?
No, sir.
So they stayed with you about a month. Where did they go then?
I have no idea. It wasn't my concern.
Okay, but they moved. They were there. Did they have? What was your living situation as far as bedrooms and such?
I had 4 bedrooms. I had 5 children. My other 4 kids stayed with me.
So where did they stay while they were in your house? Like what part of the house?
Where did they stay when? I'm sorry.
Like what part of the house of the residence did they stay in?
I had 4 bedrooms.
So you had one to offer them for that month.
Yes, they had a bedroom.
Okay. All right. Give me one moment because I'm about to sneeze and I don't want to have y'all listen to that.
God bless you, Your Honor. Judge, Your Honor. Doesn't look like a very good sneeze.
All right.
That
Maybe I
wasn't
do,
a
maybe
sneeze.
I don't. I
That
thought
was
I
a
did.
Yeah, I don't. It was a fault
All right.
farm, everybody.
So,
That was a cover-it up of a.
when was the last time that you saw Miss James?
I saw her the day that the sheriff department served her my TPO.
All right. When was the last time you saw Miss James that wasn't about a TPO?
It was about 4 months ago.
Okay. So earlier in the year, maybe about
And can
February.
I clarify one thing?
No.
All right.
That is not her friend. That's my son.
Well, I
And
know y'all got the same last name.
And he has, and that baby that been on camera, that's our grandbaby, my grandbaby. So I ain't never been no stepmom to her. I don't even know that girl at all. I don't know what she get that idea. I don't know her.
All right. Well,
And I need to get one more thing clarified. I never allowed them to live in my house. And my son stated that I called from the hospital. Your Honor, I was in a coma for 21 days.
Oh God.
I never called him. When I woke up, my other kids told me he had been at my house, removed evidence to help the person that did this to me get convicted. He threw away the burned mattress, which was evidence. I never asked him. Why would I ask him to do that?
now
Nobody.
let me jump in real quick because timelines are always helpful to me.
Wow, a lot to unpack right there.
I think, is that all that she wanted to get out? That she's been just waiting for that perfect timing that he would let her.
I mean,
Yeah, that's a lot going on there.
she was in a coma for 21 days. Remember, she was allegedly set on fire by her ex-boyfriend, which appears to. And didn't she say it kept him from getting convicted?
I think she did say that.
I mean, isn't she evidence enough? I mean,
oh no, Tina, that was totally the judge who said that he had to sneeze. He didn't have to sneeze.
mine are silent, like
He
really
held one in.
real quiet.
You know.
But
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, Kenya, good to see you. It's definitely one of those really weird things. She also said 1 second ago, I don't care where they went, and then the other second she said, and there's my grandbaby.
I can kind of see where they may have been trying to get one over on her and kind of take over the house. It's an interesting case. Very interesting case.
Yeah, for sure. A lot going on. Go ahead.
Me, and I'm sorry to interrupt. Approximately when did he do this to you?
In May of last year.
Okay, so about a
May
year ago.
26th will be 1 year.
Okay. And
And
so
you can see the evidence where I was burned.
Oh,
70% of my body.
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
so sorry that you had to go through that. That
Well,
is
thank you.
terrifying.
I wish everybody felt sorry for me.
Well, so you're saying you did not return to live in the residence, is that correct?
I did return after the fact, but when I first got to the hospital, I had to have a caretaker. My daughter, which lived off Redan Road in Decatur, I went to her house for some months. My son, who you just spoke with, say he needed something from my house. I gave him my key. He went and never returned my key. I was not aware that they had started living in my house because they've been homeless for quite some time, years. and I wasn't aware of that. He had started living in the house. So when my daughter, me and my baby girl, who lived in the house with me prior to this happening, went back to the house, that's when we realized they had been living there. And that's when all this stuff started. He started trying to lock me out, threatening me with a gun. That's why I had to obtain TPOs myself. I was knocking on the door one day, real hard, like, da, 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 you know, the glass board. He came to the door with a gun pointed in my face. He has charges for sex trafficking and all that. He can't purchase a gun. She went and purchased that gun for him. Nolly Jane. My son is not even supposed to have a gun.
Wow.
And he threatened me with the gun. That's why I got the TPOs. He told her, I'm giving you permission to whoop my mama ass. And in this order that I'm here for today, I read that she said that I hit my grandbaby head. I would never put my hand on my grandchildren, especially about grown folk mess. I don't do that. And that never happened. I have never asked them to live there. They're not supposed to be there. And when they talk about my landlord, they have not talked to that lady. If you check the court records, you'll see that the landlord went and did the eviction on a John Doe, which is them.
Wow.
And she was talking about them. I can give you the landlord number, and you can call her and ask her. The police has called her from the house. She sent the police a copy of the lease that they not supposed to be there.
Wow.
So I've never threatened them folks in any kind of way, except that I was gonna get them out their house. Other than that, physical harm, I hurt my grandbaby, I'm trying to get custody of that baby, because they ain't got nowhere they sleeping in cars and stuff. So that's a lie. That's a whole lie. And my daughter, which lived with me, she started a job training on her job yesterday, so she couldn't be here today for this hearing. But if you need a reset for her to be here, we can make that happen. But there's no truth in nothing they saying. It's all. That's why I was so upset and emotional early, and I apologize.
Well,
But
And again, that's why we have to watch the entire case. Go ahead and let me guys know. Let us know, will the TPO be granted for the young lady up there? And I'm guessing maybe the son's in on that. Wow, Creed.
Wow is right. So was she so worked up about this entire thing that's going on that I don't even think she was thinking straight in the beginning.
That's what
She
she
wanted
just
to
said,
get that out. Oh my Lord. And yeah, you're right. That's why you got to watch the whole thing. That's why we should not say anything. Just listen.
You know, don't call it your shot until you've heard all the evidence. But if that's all true, they definitely do not need this TPO. They definitely need to stay away from this woman. She's been through enough.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna side for now on the side of her just being so worked up, this bothering her so much, having a chance finally to get this out. And in her mind, the judge wasn't giving her a chance to even say anything, I guess.
I like
Which is
turtles.
Good to see you, legendary Mayor. Mary likes turtles.
You got to do it a certain way. You know, things have to be done a certain way. You can't just let things go crazy.
Oh man, court is so crazy. It's so many ups and downs, and trying to piece things together. With these little snippets that you get, trying to figure out who's telling the truth 100%, who's not, who's throwing in some. It's crazy. Listen, I can relate to her being so worked up about this now in the beginning, not being able to even listen to what the judge is saying. And then the thing with her daughter, I kind of wish that her daughter would pull up as she asked.
Yeah.
Now to kind of hear her side of it. Judge says Judge has some work to do here on this one.
Yeah, he's got to really do some work. And again, people that are new to our channel, we are a reaction channel. We react to what we hear at that moment in time. Knee-jerk reactions sometimes. At the end of the day, we try to feel like we've accomplished something. But that weird son now with the hood.
Boy, he was very well spoken. He had me going. there for a bit. Hell, Flusher.
Don't you worry, we'll milk that to death.
I know
Yeah,
it's
hurtful.
hard.
When your own child put you through this after you don't survive a fire. I was set on fire like a bonfire. And I have to go through this to have me and my daughter somewhere. It's not right.
Well, let me
I'm
pause
hurt.
you for a
I'm
second there.
disappointed and I'm hurt.
Wow.
I want to see if Miss James has questions that she believes should be asked right now.
Let's hope not.
Yes, be like, how did you
Yes, I want to ask, how did they get in contact with us?
Who's they?
If they never, how do you put it? If they never, I was going to say, if we weren't staying there at the location, how did they, I was going to
Who
say,
is
if
they?
we weren't staying, what, like her and his siblings and like the family members, how would they be able to get in contact with us to let us know what happened if we weren't stable or had a living place?
At what point? When she was hurt? A year ago?
Real quick.
Say that one more time.
Hang on, Miss Greer. I got
on, everybody.
I don't think a judge needs to apologize for the way that
no. He has to run it a certain way. You know, you can't go around just like, oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong.
He lets a lot go and a lot slide, as we talked about earlier. But there is a process to this, and you can't just let somebody just spout off and throw a bunch of stuff out. There's a reason for a process, and there's a reason for the decorum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily agree with that, but and he has given her a chance. She's gotten it out in the proper where she needed to. It's the proper time, and
I'm surprised he hasn't said something to the son. You can hear him. Don't you know it?
I
Feeding
heard
her
that.
things to say.
Right. Yeah. He's kind of pushing onto her to tell her to, I don't think that's,
that's not appropriate
typically either.
That's not appropriate at all. But all right, we'll get back into it.
to understand the question so that I can understand the answer. So Miss James, are you asking about when she was burned?
Yes.
Okay. So Miss James, when you had that incident a year ago, how were you able to get in touch with Miss James and your son?
I'm assuming that I have 5 kids, Jonna. My other kids might have reached out and let him know what happened to their mama.
So let me stop you there. It sounds like your answer is someone else did it and you don't know how. Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't do it. I was in a coma.
All right.
I like that holiday though. The Georgia Peach. Thank you, Tim.
There is not a better answer than the one she just gave. I don't know who got it with them, how they got it with them. I'm assuming my children did. Perfect answer. Perfect. Thank you guys for the monies.
Out, when I got to the ER, I passed out and I was out for 21 days. I can show you pictures.
That's not what we're here for. Listen.
Okay. Well, I was in a coma. I couldn't talk to nobody.
Miss Greer, there's an old saying that is loosely related to what we're dealing with here. And sometimes someone will say, when you made the sale, stop selling. I'm going to tell you something slightly different. When you've answered the question, stop answering. Because we're not here to hash out all the details of that. We just want that base level expectation and understanding.
Okay.
And the answer to that question could have been 3 words. I don't know. Or it could have been 3 words followed by 5 more. I don't know. I was in a coma. And that would have been a perfectly complete answer.
Okay,
and so just focus on the answer first. And if there are follow-up questions I need, then just give me the space to ask them if I need them.
Okay, well, I'll just be quiet. I'll just be quiet and let
Miss James, do you have any other questions for this witness?
Yes. Yes, I do, but mostly I just want to know if possible, can she just stop trying to get us falsely, stop using false allegations to try to get us arrested and stop robbing us blindly.
All right. Well, it sounds like the evidence is closed. So here's what I can tell everybody. The situation.
What do you think she means about the robbing?
Some of the situations here that are being discussed are civil.
She keeps coming back with they keep talking about how she found out that they had money and keep saying she was robbing a blind, but not giving us any any information. She
There's
made us
nothing to
pay
back that up.
$1,900 a month while we were staying there. She showed up and said we needed to pay back rent, something, anything.
Yeah, again, they're in Mama's house, correct?
Yeah.
So I don't understand if you're staying. I would assume for free, because she did mention somebody or her was paying $1,900 a month.
By the way, I'm very concerned. Are they going to move back into this car? And are they donating blood? If you notice the Band-Aid on her hand, if they have 50,000, she shouldn't have to be donating blood or plasma or whatever it is to make ends meet.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, so they did win a settlement. They said that they had got
again $50,000, not a lot of money in this world.
But I mean, how is she
24 of it would be for rent? So
I don't know.
Again, not enough details. We need more details on this robbing us blind.
If somebody damages somebody else's property, if somebody destroys somebody else's property or makes it disappear, that's a question for civil courts that are different than this court. With respect to the property, that's a whole complicated question. I don't have a landlord here. I don't know the landlord's feelings about this situation. It sounds like Miss Greer has not been there for quite some time. So all very complicated. Also not for me to resolve today. If the landlord wants them out, the landlord needs to pursue the eviction and pursue it to completion until that process is done. If they want Miss Greer back, they can allow Miss Greer back, or if there's something else to be done, then that's for them to pursue through a different part of the court system. But the questions that I have to answer today are as follows. Do I have jurisdiction over this case? Yes, I do. Is there a family violence relationship between the parties? And have acts of family violence been committed between the parties? And there are a number of assumptions. I don't want to say assumptions. There are a number of elements that are baked into those two questions about what it means to reside with someone or not reside with someone, and what it means to commit an act of violence, because what it requires is that somebody be the predominant aggressor, and that's defined by a number of different things that are evaluated on the totality of the circumstances. My answer is no, and that even if the claims that were levied against the petitioner were proven true, they would be insufficient for a family violence protective order to issue. And so what I'm going to do is deny and dismiss the one that is here before us today. What this means is that there's not a protective order in place that I know of against any of the three people that have testified in this case. None of you seem to want anything to do with the other. This all seems to be a very negative situation. Well, not none of you. Miss Greer seems to want nothing to do with her son or Miss James. Miss James and Mr. Greer seem to want nothing to do with Miss Greer. And so what you're left with is an opportunity to go forth in the world, knowing each of your preferences about the other, and to behave accordingly. Understanding that people will be upset, they will get their feelings hurt, they will be prone to call the police and start trouble. Whatever the issues with the physical property are, they need to be handled through the landlord, not with each other. If the landlord, at this point, that's been going on so long, that it'll be on them to sort it out with one of you or all of you. With respect to each other, it's hard to think of a reason that y'all would need to be in contact to the extent that you're already living apart even before this order was issued and granted at the ex parte phase. Ms. Greer, you have a few other kids who I hope you can rely on to provide a little bit more support than the nature of the relationship that's here right now. But I understand that can be challenging even in the best of times. And so what's going to happen is that probably in the next 24 hours or so, this will be processed. And what I will tell you is that if there are any court matters pending, whether it's a dispossessory against one of you or all of you, those can always be discussed privately with the landlord and then otherwise handled in open court. Any other issues of property, they're either part of a lawsuit or they're not. But they need to be hashed out in that way and only in that way, because none of you seem to be comfortable having contact with the other, and none of you seem to welcome that opportunity. And I don't think it's constructive based on the way that things have gone today. And so if there are issues that need to be handled that way, then we'll do that. But in the meantime, as it relates to the protective order, it will be closed out. So we're going to place all parties back in the waiting room. You'll be free to log off.
Wow, wow, wow. I will say this. Miss Greer's been through enough. These kids need to get their shit together. And again, Miss Greer doesn't even own that place, you know? She doesn't even own it. It's
they're
the
renting it.
place.
That was an odd one. I'm still not sold on both parties with their
versions of the stories.
version.
I can see that. But at the same time, if she is the one on the lease, that's her place. Get out of her damn place. Let the lady have her spot. Come on, man. Come on. Oh,
George Peach.
I'm gonna start thinking she won the lottery next. Somebody look up Georgia lottery winners for me.
I saw a lot of people having issues with trying to figure out how to accept gifts. The other thing I want to remind you guys is it's not just a cut and clear Android versus Apple device situation. You've got iPads, you got people that are on TV, you got people that are on computers. For some reason, it's not the same across everywhere, so it's very difficult to. I can tell you what happens for me on the Android is that I was able to do it by clicking down the little dollar sign and pulling it up that way. And then another way that I saw was when somebody gifted something underneath it, asked me if I wanted to turn it on. I just had to press the thing, but I'm sorry that they make it as confusing as they do. Technology.
I will say this: if you're in the YouTube chat right now, scroll up to where Georgia Peach, you'll see a green box where she gave the memberships. Like right now, for me, underneath it says next time you could be lucky recipient of a We Got a Case gift membership. Allow gifts. Typically, that's not there for me. So this is a first. So if you end up like me, make sure you scroll back up in there where somebody has gifted it. You'll see right underneath it. It should give you the option. If it doesn't, you're going to have to play with it a little.
Also, where it shows above the top, if you're on a mobile phone, anyways, the little green thing. I've been able to click that before, and it's taken me there too. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird how that is, and it seems different per channel. It seems to be different also. So I don't know, guys. We tried. Thank you for everybody trying to help figure that out. Flush, another $2. Speaking of lottery winners, Flush, did you have a windfall of some money?
I thought I was going to say, speaking of stolen microphones.
Speaking of which.
Oh, wow.
That's an interesting case. That was a good one. That was a good one.
And by the way, it's been on fire.
Legendary Mayor, Mary likes turtles. Always love seeing you. Thank you. You made a great choice today.
Lots more TPO stuff coming from Judge Dude. I've already recorded like 3 more. So we're going to be fully stocked on TPOs for the rest of the week for sure. Stocked. Thank you. Let me add these folks on real quick. Creed.
That's true. That's a good point too, is that nobody has any control over who gets them. Just so you know.
Yes.
I mean, I would imagine that if you're a little bit active in the chat,
they say that there is a hack. If you're not Mikey, there is a hack that if you're on the channel a lot, if you comment a lot, if you watch that channel more than the other people, it kind of bumps you up the list. So we'll see.
And I would imagine if you're a lurker like Simba, hi, love it, love our lurkers. I mean, YouTube knows how much you interact with the channel, even if you're not active in the chat. So, cool.
All right. And
by the way, I wanted to show you, he's been railing through these people in the church pews all day today. Didn't say that properly, but you know what I mean. Had a hell of a, he didn't have any, remember the last couple of days we were on there. They were loaded up today. With lots of people that didn't pay for dog licenses. Courtney, thank you. 5 bones. Make sure to add Courtney to the.
I stopped and quickly adding Courtney. One of the our regular viewers asked for me to make a Judge Stansberry sticker for sale. Hashtag stand by Stansberry, I think was the request. I don't know.
That would be great to see a sticker of his.
Please, if that's something you'd be interested in, make a comment so I know they go ahead and make that, Mikey, so I'm not wasting my time and sell none.
And I am a fairly new fan of Trilogy Media. I really enjoy watching their stuff. Since the Predator stuff, I don't get into any of that, but I did watch one the other day where they chased this kid. Vlad chased this kid for, my God, miles around California on foot running. It was pretty fun. But yeah, I like them. I like the scam baiting stuff that they do. That's what I like.
Drooling for Stansberry. Ooh.
Crash says hashtag stands for Stanberry.
There it is.
Stands for Stanberry. Stansberry. Stands for Stansberry. Stands for Stanberry?
I don't know. We'll get it going, I'm sure. Don't forget, if you haven't already liked this video, we would appreciate a huge audience here today. Huge crowd. We really, really appreciate it. Meg won.
And Meg is not. There's just no way that Meg is pregnant.
There has been zero confirmation that Meg is even with child or has somebody to help make a child with.
0.0.
Thank you guys so much. Like Lod says, we'll see you at 405 East for Taco Tuesday at least.
Oh, yeah. We got a packed show. People jumping off bridges, Creed. We've got a guy that decided he was going to go for a swim. He was going to swim away from the cops after a chase and a tasing. Who doesn't love that?
Poor sweet Meg. TPO Tuesday trolley, or AKA monetary monorail. Thank you guys so much. Keeping the lights on, as they say. Flusha, Angela, who dis? Handsome. Bigfoot, Georgia Peachy. Deborah. Deborah. Sorry, I didn't say that. There's two on there. Who's handsome? The money man. Deborah again. Iowa golfer Lisa, Annie M, Georgia Peach, Michael, Miranda, Leather and Lashes, LNL, PP.
Oh, yeah. 50 bones, by the way.
Oh, my God. You didn't even say anything. 007, thank you. Leather and Lashes. My God.
I did. We were in a roll. We were on a roll.
Once again, I'll go for Lisa. Flusha with Cash. Georgia Lottery winner Peach. Flusha. Mary loves turtles. Courtney, thank you guys so much. And Leather and Lashes.
Leather and Lashes, yes. I was slow getting to the PP.
Thank you guys so much. Hey, it was a busy day. Like Mikey said, huge crowd. That definitely biggest crowd, right?
For sure, for just one channel. Yeah, we were only on one channel on YouTube.
That we've done, which is awesome. Which is more of a reasoning why I'm kind of thinking I might need to keep court right here. I don't know.
It's a possibility. That's a big boy. It's a big boy.
Put the needle on the record. Put the needle on the record. And the drum beat goes like this?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it does. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out.
We've been hanging and banging, brother.
All day, every day, 5 days a week at least, Monday through Friday. We'll see you back here soon. God bless you. Bye-bye. It's the ass end of the show. What are you guys doing? Document days pay. Oh, no.